Thank you, Colin. Hi, Don, please.
My name is Hans, and I think I'm generally a pretty happy guy, but I'm pretty sure that the happiest time of my life was a 6-year honeymoon I spent in a shack on the beach across the harbor from Prince Rupert at Salt Lakes. I still had the shadow of the Calistratus hanging over me at the time, the big fish boat that I'd just finished being involved in building and trying to make a go of here in BC, and I knew it was going to end, and just how I didn't know, but I was invited by Margot, who'd been out as the observer biologist on the boat from the government, and we'd gotten to become friends already while she was on the boat. And then one day, after having tried to already bring me some fresh homemade bread that didn't arrive, and she invited me to supper anyway, and I went over to this shack that she was living on in across the harbor from Prince Rupert, in a little community of like-minded people. And I'd never experienced anything quite like it, but before, like I'd never been to such a place before, where people were living in this little community of shacks, commuting by boat to Prince Rupert, getting all your groceries and supplies from Rupert, but living there in this open community there. But I immediately glommed onto it. I knew what it was, how wonderful it was. Yeah, we spent 6 years there in an amazing. It wasn't all. Life on the beach was an umbrella drink. It wasn't at all like that. It was Prince Rupert still, and you had to. When you dogged up, you saw a log out in the harbor or in nearby that looked really good, so you'd take the skiff out, you'd drive a dog into it, pull it into the beach, tie it up, and at low tide you'd buck it up and throw it onto the porch for firewood. That was our heat source. Over the years, I made the place gradually more comfortable. We added a second room to the back, which was made from salvaged lumber that came out of an old shipyard across the harbor. And it steadily became more comfortable, but it was still a fairly simple Spartan life. We had running water. I had a little generator so we could run. Galen was born there. Spent the first year and a half of his life at Salt Lakes. And but eventually, when the second child was imminent, we realized this was probably getting a little bit too difficult a row to hoe, doing diapers for another kid, and so we ended up going to Dodge Cove. But those 6 years on the beach with the woman I'm still in love with was an amazing experience. Just totally radically different from anything I could have imagined or expected for myself, and the simplicity of it, the crudeness, and yet that was all you needed for life. We used to have these fabulous dinners, fish, and at that time you were still allowed to eat abalone, right? So we'd go out to Stevens Island, harvest some abalone, and we'd have a big feast back at Salt Lakes, and we always used to say, boy, I wonder what the poor people are doing tonight. While we're having these fabulous feasts. It was a real community too, an open community. You needed something, you just dropped in on your neighbor, even if they weren't home, and you could. That kind of community we've never ever found again, and we've sort of, in some ways, gone back to that life in some ways in the boat that we live on now, because it's about the same kind of space, although a great deal more sophisticated. It's got engines in the basement and stuff like that, but we're trying to get back to that kind of simplicity, small space, and yeah, that was the happiest time of my life. I'm pretty sure just this discovery of simple, elegant, crude living.
Beautiful. Thank you, Hans. Beautiful. Thank you, Hans.